What's up, y'all? My name is Holtingalls. I'm a filmmaker and cinematographer, and today we're going to break down what I use to film my cinematic FPV videos. So I'm assuming whoever's watching this video is looking to buy an FPV drone, and when you're buying an FPV build, you want to know exactly what you're using the FPV drone for. For me, I knew that I wanted to use mine for cinematic filmmaking, so I need to buy the parts that would fit that criteria. If you want to buy something that's for freestyle or racing or anything like that, it's going to be completely different. But I'm assuming that the people that are watching this video are into filmmaking and cinematography. So if that's the case, then let's talk about digital versus analog. So for me, being a filmmaker, I think the DJI FPV digital system, dang, that's a mouthful. That's the way to go if you're into filmmaking. Analog system's awesome, fat chocks are awesome, nothing against those guys. But for me, I like to see a digital feed in my goggles. The system's just a lot easier to work. If you're just jumping into FPV to film and you're not really into it to freestyle, then this is the system for you. I know it's expensive, and I'm not sure how expensive it is now. I'm sure the price is gonna slowly go down, but I think it's just worth the money. It's just so much easier. It's gonna be easier on you. You don't have to buy as many parts. Again, it's just so much simpler for you to get into. Another pro to it is the feed's just so much cleaner, clearer. If you're used to looking at digital video, it's just gonna be a lot better for you to use, because if you're not used to looking at analog video, it's gonna be kind of rough at first. When you buy the system, it's gonna come with three things. It's gonna come with the air unit, it's gonna come with the goggles, and it's gonna come with a remote. Let's talk about the goggles first. I love these goggles, but there are a few issues that I have with these. First off, they're a little bulky, they're a little heavy, and they'll sag on your face a little bit, and you really need to tighten them up because you'll get some light leaks come in. When you're flying, you don't really want that to kind of distract you from flying. And also, an issue that I have sometimes is this long cord that you plug in down here, and you plug in a 4S battery to. It'll get snagged on things, it'll pull your goggles off, you'll forget about it, and sometimes you'll try to put your goggles up and you'll still be connected and it'll fall on the ground, and that's why I have some marks on it. I don't know if you can see that. That's why I had to replace the stock antennas, because they fell, they kept breaking, the casings broke. These work awesome. I'll link everything below, so you don't have to worry about wondering where I got these from. But all in all, like, the feed and the signal you get with these are incredible. They're pretty easy to use, they're pretty simple to use, but I like these a lot. So now we're gonna talk about the remote you get when you buy from DJI. To be honest, you could probably plug and play another remote. This isn't my favorite. I mean, I've gotten used to it now, and I kind of actually like using it. It's a lot simpler than the QX7 that you get normally when you first get into it. The battery holds for a long time. I mean, there's some good things about it, but for the most part, it's a little heavier. You can't customize it and mod it like you can another remote, but you really don't have to. So, I mean, if you just jump into this and you buy this and this is what the first thing you use, perfect. I mean, you don't need anything else. And if not, you're kind of switching over to digital. You might not like it at first, but I like it. I like it now. So let's talk about the quad itself and what you need to get. I'll break down the parts from top to bottom. First, you're gonna need to get a frame. This is the iFlight XL7 frame. It fits this air unit. A lot of frames don't fit the air unit because it's so big. I know the air unit's, I think, smaller now. I think they came out with a new one, but for right now, this is what I have to use. I had to kind of move it around to fit, but I like this frame. It's cool, sleek, not bad. Pretty strong too. Next, you're probably want to order motors, and I got these Ethics motors. I like them a lot. Smooth, powerful, gets the job done for what I need to do. You're gonna get 4 of those when you put them in your cart, because I think the first time I bought motors, I just put one in, and I thought for some reason it would just come with 4. No, that's not the case. You're gonna need to get some props. I like these Johnny FPV props, Azure Johnny FPV props. They're pretty good. They're smooth. I mean, they're fairly quiet. You're gonna need to get a lot of those too, because you're gonna break your props. when you buy the DJI FPV system, it's going to come with this air unit back here where you plug in your antennas, and it's going to come with the camera. So you don't really have to worry about that. Then you're going to want to get a stack, so your flight controller. And I got the Holy Bro flight controller. I'm not sure exactly what flight controller it's called, but again, it'll be linked below. I like it. I mean, it works fine. No problems with it. And last but not least, you're going to want to get something to hold your camera. And there's multiple ways to do that, but I prefer having a 3D mount because I think it holds it more snug and there's not as many micro jitters. I got this from Brain 3D. This is the 20%. There's a 30% and there's a 10%. If you're going faster, you're going to want a 30 to 40%. If you're just kind of cruising, but you're also filming, 20% is pretty good. If you're going slow, just cruising, 10% is what you want. But I like Brain 3D a lot. Now let's talk about the camera you're gonna put in this GoPro mount. So I love GoPro. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. I'm just telling you what I like the most. There's other cameras you can go with, but this Hero 8 is what I've been using for the past 5 months. I used the Hero 6 before. Hero 6, Hero 8 Black are the best cameras to get for your FPV drone because you can pair it with RealSteady. If you don't know what RealSteady is, I have a video about that. Go check those out. But yeah, you can shoot 4K at 60 frames. I mean, you really can't get much better than that. The bit rate's pretty high. You can shoot in flat. You can color grade it pretty well. So really no complaints with this. It's waterproof, and it has like these little things down here that you can flip out instead of having to put it in a case. So all in all, GoPro did a good job with this. But to use that GoPro correctly, you're gonna need to get ND filters. I get these Black Sheep ND filters. When you're ordering your Brain 3D mount, GoPro mount, you have an option to buy these because they slide right into the mount. Pretty nice. I get the ND2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. That way you're covered all across the board and you can get your exposure looking right. So yeah, get these. Last but not least, you're gonna wanna get some batteries. You're gonna wanna at least get 4 to 5 batteries. You're gonna wanna get a charger along with that, a charging station or board. I didn't bring that down here. I'll link that below though. I got 6S batteries, these LG Lumineers. I mean, they're pretty nice. I haven't had any trouble with them. You're gonna burn through batteries probably because they're pretty easy to break, or I break them a lot, and you just gotta make sure you take care of them. But I like these a lot. You're also gonna need to get a 4S batteries. I mean, you can use 4S batteries for your quad. 6S are better, more powerful, quicker. They're a little bit heavier, but they give you a longer lasting flight time as well. These 4S batteries, they'll work to power your 5-inch quad, but they're just not as effective. But I do use these 4-inch. I do use these 4S batteries to power my goggles because they need an external power source. So yeah, if you want to get into cinematic FPV, that's a good option to go with. I mean, you can kind of mix and match what parts you want to use for your quad, but that's what I use. That's the system I use. I know a lot of people have been asking me about that, so I wanted to make this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Toss me a like. You can subscribe if you want. I'm not above begging. And if you want to stick around, you can check out these badass shots that I was able to get with this build.
Getting high in the sky, boss, I can see it. Hot spot in this plush dot and this lid. Screw chop, Gucci sauce, got me drippin'. Cops, we can't be stopped, just admit it. Hey, hey, hey. Put the diamonds in, chrome hard lens. Bought a new Benz, lost more friends. Stretch my ends, money all in. Fucking a friend, breaking and bend. 110s, counting the ends. Trustin' got thin, keep it FN. I gotta go, I gotta spin. I drove a boat, I drive again. I ain't got no note, I ain't got no rent. I am a goat, I am a man. We in the low, we smoking dope. We keep it close, you with the folks. Give me the dose, give me some dope. You already know, you know. We be the top of the sauce for the toppings, you know that they copping you off. They cleaning them out, but they hopping, I couldn't fall out with it, bro. Hotter than Taki, I like it, I cop it, ain't nobody stopping the go. Smoke like they daddy, we sitting in the lobby, we just bring it out the whole flow. Getting high.